So we're going to continue our discussion about factoring. We've talked about how to factor out a greatest common factor, how to determine if something fits, and how to use the difference of squares rule. We talked about the differences and the similarities between the difference of cubes rule and the sum of cubes rule and how to apply those. We've already discussed the factor by grouping method of factoring. And now we're looking at the final method of factoring, which is trinomials. So we're going to focus on that in this lesson. So for this objective, objective 60, what we're looking at is the equation x squared plus bx plus c. So what we're going to see is this thing has a lead coefficient of 1. The kind of problem that we will get here is to factor x squared plus 5x plus 6. So what we're going to try to do is factor this expression into its binomial multipliers. Okay, basically we're going to do this through the factor by grouping method. We're going to multiply the 1 and the 6 together, and that's going to give us an answer of 6. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to list the factors of this positive 6. So it could be 1 and 6, it could be negative 1 and negative 6, it could be 2 and 3, or it could be negative 2 and negative 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the pair that adds up to the middle term on my trinomial expression I'm trying to factor. Well, this is a positive 5. So I am going to select the 2, 3 as the two numbers I want to use. What I will then do is rewrite my trinomial where I take that 5x term and I rewrite it as the sum of the two factors of 6. So this 5 becomes 2x plus 3x. I now have 4 or more terms here, which indicates to me that I need to group this expression and continue to factor using the factor by grouping method. Looking at x squared plus 2x, I can factor out an x, and I'll be left with x plus 2. Looking at 3x plus 6, I can factor out a positive 3 and be left with x plus 2. Now the factor by grouping method states, finish factoring by taking out the common group, and the remaining components belong in the same parentheses together. So our factored version of x squared plus 5x plus 6 is x plus 2 times x plus 3. Now we should never get this wrong when we do our factoring, because we always have the option of checking our solution. Does x plus 2 times x plus 3, when I multiply this out, equal x squared plus 5x plus 6? Well, x times x gives us x squared. X times 3 gives us 3x. 2 times x gives us 2x. And 2 times 3 gives us 6. So our final solution is x squared plus 5x plus 6, which checks. So in our factoring of a trinomial, we will be using the factor by grouping method.